Hello everyone, today is the 9th of June 2021. We are into our third trading day of the week. So in this video, we will be running through our 5 most focused markets: Euro against US dollar, gold, Nasdaq, WTI, and Bitcoin. So we will run through each of these markets in 3 different steps. What has happened, what's going to happen, and what's our trading plan for the day, so you can make your own decision whether or not to take up our trading ideas. Alright, so let's begin with the euro against the US dollar. So since we are in the middle of the week, I would just like to go through what we have forecast for the week. So let's take a look at the euro against the US dollar. So from here, what I'm expecting is that because of resistance right at this level, and because we are actually at a high, alright, of this entire range right here, so the price is currently high and there's resistance at this neckline, we expect the price to go down. Alright, and I think also on the fundamental level, we have the ECB press conference and of course their interest rate decisions, and we more or less expect it to be dovish, especially if we compare it against other central banks such as the Federal Reserve. Looking at what has happened so far, it still seems that there isn't much selling, and in fact the price creep up a little bit but still kind of stay resisted right there. So there is a constant resistance, but we haven't seen any selling activities coming in just yet. So if we come back to the current charts right now, I think yesterday itself I did talk about waiting for the price to come a little bit lower back into this demand zone, and then it will kind of rebound. It did found support, it did rebounded off, but it is still very weak right here. But in any case, we are still trading within this falling channel, and since if we go to the 1 hourly time frame, the price has kind of broke out of another pullback channel right here, and there is support right at the bottom. There is a good chance we will be able to see the price goes a little bit higher, right back to the previous high, and of course at the same time it will be right at the top of this falling channel, and I think that will be the best price we can look to sell again. And just don't forget about it, this is also the Fibonacci 61.8% retracement level. So today what we are going to do is that we'll wait for a selling opportunity as the price pulls back into this level, so that in this case it actually completes 2 waves of a pullback. Alright, and then from there we can continue to sell. Alright, so I think the entire plan hasn't changed much. We're just waiting for a better price, waiting for a better trade setup before we go in for a sell. Now if you want to buy, at this point of time, definitely I don't really suggest, but if you want to buy, you might need to wait for a much stronger pullback to a lower level. The first one will definitely be right here, but I'm not going to go too much into buying. We're kind of selling buyers right now, alright, especially looking at the entire market. It is still trading at a high, right? And so that is for the euro against the US dollar. Moving on, we have the gold. Alright, so for the gold itself, we expect it to make some pullback at the beginning of the week, but it didn't. As in fact, it actually goes up a little bit more, but not too much. Right now, there's some sort of a pullback for us to look for another buying opportunity. So end of the day, at least right now, we are seeing that it is still moving in our primary direction, because then there's no breakdown or whatsoever that is going to cause the gold to continue to fall. So let's take a look at the charts right now. Alright, so going into the 4 hourly time frame. So in the last 3 days, at the very beginning of the week, alright, gold make a jump up to this price. It pulls back yesterday, but buyers came in again and pushed the price even higher. So right now it is resisted at this trend line right here, and you can kind of see what kind of formation it is actually forming. Well, I'm not going to name it, because technically speaking it is not really what it is. But in any case, if you have been trading for long enough, you do kind of see this kind of formation pretty much, and this is usually how it goes, right? So right now, if we go to the 1 hourly time frame, now we are already seeing a pullback right here, correct? And then somewhere in the middle there's some sort of volatility right here, well, mainly due to some economic data release. We're not going to go into it. And then it ranged for a period of time, and we are seeing it coming down again. So right now, if it's able to come down a little bit more, then you will be back into this demand zone where it broke out from this falling channel. This is where we want to buy. All right, this is where we want to buy. So this will be somewhere 1886 to 1884. Stop loss, we can simply put it just below the previous low. And in terms of our targets, since we're expecting a formation like this to happen, which means to say a breakout, our targets will definitely be all the way back to the previous high, 1911, all the way into this supply zone. And as I've been saying for a very long time, all the way to 1950 is where our final target is. All right, because that is obviously the most important resistance as of this year, right? All right, so that is for the goal. Pretty straightforward. Am I looking to sell? No, totally I am not looking to sell, but I'm not saying that there isn't possibility for it, because you can always look at it in another way. That is, it has been breaking out of this of rising trend lines right here, and it does seem that there's another breakout right here or whatsoever. But in any case, it is really because of the fundamental reasons I'm very bullish on the gold. So do take that into consideration for your own trading decisions. Okay, moving on, we have the Nasdaq. So again, let us take a look at our weekly forecast. So based on our weekly forecast, we expect it to go higher, because I think it has broke out of this trend line, and it also has closed just above this neckline right here by this double top. So how has it played out so far? We are seeing that yes, it went up and found some resistance right here, as what we have plotted right here, and we are waiting kind of a small pullback before it goes even higher, all the way back to the top of this rising wedge. So looking at the charts right now, we can kind of see that lows are getting higher, highs are getting higher as well. Very straightforward. So if definitely we are looking to buy, a good price will be waiting for it to retest the low right here. I mean, obviously this resistance turn support level, so a better price will be here, but you can see that it is not too far away. So if you intend to long Nasdaq, I think now is also a good price to do so. But in any case, for my case, definitely I always like to wait for a better pullback. I mean, we want to kind of be wary about this sell off right here, which may cause another sell off, right? So if that is how it is, then obviously the most important demand zone is somewhere here. This is the price we are looking at. Why? Because there is actually a lot of selling and buying activities happening right here. When the price reaches this level, it is actually still at the resistance, right? At the highest price based on the price right here. So a lot of selling and buying going on right here, and finally it breaks out, which is why we kind of see a lot of kind of a ranging or consolidation, but actually there's high volume right here. So this is the next best price to buy the Nasdaq. And in terms of the targets, we can simply look at it all the way back to the previous high. It is very straightforward. And of course, just before that, we want to kind of take note of this demand supply zone at this area. All right, needless for me to explain so much. So first target into 13,950, and then all the way back to the previous high 14,000. All right, so that is for the Nasdaq. Moving on, we have the US oil. So again, let's take a look at what we have forecast for the week. So in our weekly forecast, we are kind of waiting for a major pullback before the price goes higher. But as you can see right now, it is going higher. It is trading outside of this riding channel. It tells us that the oil market is very, very bullish as of now. And therefore, I think we got to make a little bit of change in how we plan to trade the US oil. So rather than so instead of waiting for a stronger or major pullback into this demand zone right here, I think we can kind of just trade within this riding channel. So just simply wait for a pullback back to the previous high, somewhere a little bit lower. I mean, you can always pull out Fibonacci. Just look at what happened previously. Somewhere at 61.8%. Right here as well, about close to 61.8%. When it goes up again, right? It's the same, close to 61.8%. Only somewhere right here, it forms something like a, you can see there's a harmonic pattern, so I'm not going to explain. So once it goes up again, we can kind of just pull out Fibonacci, wait for the price to reach somewhere nearer to 61.8%, but slightly higher as well, because obviously we don't see it really touching it, just very close. So maybe 69.5 to be exact would be the best price to buy the US oil again. So this is very straightforward. I'm not going to go through the fundamental side of it. We all know that the demand for US oil is very, very high right now, as economies, major economies are opening up because of the vaccination rollout, stuff like this. Right, so that is for the US oil. In terms of the targets, well, again, just to repeat for you, all the way to the major equilibrium, 76.65. But of course, in terms of intraday, we just want to kind of, trade within this riding channel. So the target will be like the top of the channel. All right, simple as that. But just bear in mind, because it is already breaking out of this of a bigger riding channel, there could be some sort of a more parabolic kind of bullish trend. So it is up to you how you want to actually manage your trade in this case. But in any case, the very first level, we can always look at the top of this minor riding channel for now. You can close out the position and wait and see if it can actually can go parabolic in that case. That's for the US oil. Last but not least, we have the Bitcoin. Alright, before we talk about the weekly forecast. Alright, so for the Bitcoin, it is moving exactly what we have expected so far. For some reason, we seems to be doing a better job at forecasting the Bitcoin. Well, right now, so let's take a look at our weekly forecasts. So we expect that price goes all the way down back to the previous low, right, somewhere close to 30,000, or rather back into this demand zone. So if you click on the play button, we saw that the price went down, all right, almost reaching. So it's pretty much there. And right now it's kind of rebounding off again, pulling back to a higher price, which yesterday we did say about that if so once the price came down already, which it has, we can just simply wait for a pullback back into this demand zone, okay, for us to sell again. But right now, I think I just want to do a little bit of adjustment, or just put it all the way down to this level. Obviously, it is going down pretty fast. So I think once it reaches 35,000, it will be a pretty good price for the sell. But just bear in mind, it might go a little bit higher to 36,000. So between 36 to 35,000 is where you can look to sell the Bitcoin again. And in terms of the targets, of course, all the way back into this demand zone right at the bottom, or a more specific number, looking at 30,000, right, which is right here, the lowest of it. And of course, going forward, we are still expecting the Bitcoin market to continue to plunge all the way back to 2017 high at about 19,600, or to give you a whole number, 20,000 would be pretty nice. And nothing much for me to share about Bitcoin so far. We all know, if we have been following up with all the news, nothing much good about Bitcoin so far. So it's going to be, like I've been saying a lot of for some time, it's going to be ranging, it's going to be consolidating. There's probably not going to have any significant kind of trend coming out from here, and at the same time, we are still expecting more pullbacks, right? More discount on the crypto markets based on the situation we have right now. All right, so that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, hit the like button to help us keep moving, to support us. So we will see you again tomorrow.